Hello and welcome. My name is Ilara, and I'll guide you through a tranquil journey tonight. Close your eyes and imagine the soft glow of dawn peeking through your window, gently waking the world around you. It's titled Chapter 1, A Quiet Morning. I'd love to know where you're joining from tonight. Are you winding down from a long day or just seeking some peace? Leave a comment to share your story, and let's create a peaceful space together. I woke up slowly. Soft light filtered through my bedroom curtains. The world felt gentle and still. I stretched, savoring the calm around me. It was a familiar morning. I took a deep breath and smiled, feeling a warmth in my heart. Thoughts of my father brushed through my mind like a soft breeze. I paused, letting his words settle gently in my heart. He always said to seek happiness in little things. "Happiness is in the moments, Lily," he would say. His voice echoed in my head, reminding me to treasure the now. As I got out of bed, memories flooded back. I could almost hear his laughter. My heart felt heavy yet light, as I vividly remembered the way his laughter would fill the room during breakfast, a sound so warm and comforting, it would brighten even the cloudiest of mornings. I wandered to the kitchen, eager to start my day. The aroma of brewing coffee filled the air. I prepared breakfast calmly. I chose a simple bowl of oatmeal. As I stirred in some honey, I thought of family. Every bite felt like a string tying me to them. I sat down at the small kitchen table. The sunlight broke through, reminding me of mornings spent with Dad. "Enjoy every bite, sweetheart," he would say. I remembered our breakfast chats, filled with laughter and stories. I took my first spoonful, savoring the warmth and sweetness. I closed my eyes as I remembered his gentle smile. Every meal shared felt like a piece of our bond. I reflected on how much love surrounded me. After breakfast, I washed the dishes slowly. The warm water felt soothing against my hands. As I wiped the plates, I thought about my parents' love. It created a foundation I could always rely on. In those quiet moments, I felt their support guiding me. I could still listen to his advice, his wisdom wrapped in love. Find joy in simple routines, he had taught. I wanted to honor that today. I wandered back to the living room after cleaning up. The sunlight streamed through the window, creating a comforting glow. I settled onto the couch, a soft blanket draped over my legs. I relaxed as I reflected on my life and the people in it. The memories of my father and those sweet mornings filled me with gratitude. I could feel his spirit beside me. I thought about the moments we shared, how they shaped me. Each one felt like a whisper, reminding me to cherish life. My thoughts shifted to my family, busy yet loving. I found peace knowing they were all okay. My heart felt lighter. I thought about calling my sister later to share a laugh. As the morning unfolded, I was enveloped in comfort and warmth. I locked onto those feelings, allowing myself to drift for a moment. I let the memories of breakfast with Dad fill me up, reinforcing joy. It was a quiet morning, the kind that felt sacred. I sat back, letting everything settle around me. My eyes drifted shut briefly, basking in the peacefulness. I let the morning embrace me like a hug from a loved one. When I finally opened my eyes, the sun was higher. I felt grounded and content. I reached for a book on the table, planning to read for a while. My father had always encouraged reading, weaving stories into our lives. As I turned the pages, I could picture him beside me. I felt his presence. It guided me. The world outside continued turning, but I was in my sanctuary. Time stood still in this quiet morning, and I savored every moment. I glanced at the clock, realizing I had lost track of time. I smiled, a gentle reminder of my father's wisdom. I flipped through the book, letting the words wash over me. They transported me to worlds far away, yet felt so close to home. Each sentence felt like a thread pulling together my memories. I could hear his voice blending with the words. Together they created a melody only I could hear. I smiled softly, recalling how he loved to read to me. As I closed the book, I felt a sense of fulfillment. I caught a glimpse of my reflection in the window. There! I saw a piece of him in my smile. It was comforting and reassuring, grounding me for the day ahead. The idea of a peaceful day lingered in my mind. I envisioned my plans, including a walk through the garden later. My father had always loved tending to our plants. I wanted to carry that forward, feeling connected to him somehow. I stood up, stretching my arms wide. As I embraced the day, his smile came to mind, filling me with warmth and melting away any lingering doubts. I walked to the window, looking out at the world beyond, breathing slowly. The garden outside looked inviting, its blossoms swaying gently in the breeze as if beckoning me. I could feel a quiet excitement building within me as I thought about tending to them later, like a gardener weaving life's gentle threads into the morning. My heart swelled with excitement, eager to reconnect. I could almost hear Dad's voice reminding me about the joy of nurturing life. I felt a flutter of anticipation. Later, I whispered to myself, I wanted to enjoy every moment, honoring both my father and the world outside. Each morning was a chance to create new memories, and I would cherish them deeply. As I readied myself, I gathered my thoughts on everything my father taught me. Finding happiness amidst the simple routines had become my guiding light. I felt prepared for whatever the day would bring. With my heart full, I walked back to the kitchen. The lingering sweetness of breakfast reminded me of our happiest moments. His teachings hung in the air, whispering about love and kindness. I took a moment to appreciate the quietness again. I had immersed myself in love, and it felt good. The world outside could wait. I was wrapped in my father's warmth, living each moment as he had shown me. The rhythm of my morning felt soothing. I made a mental note of the day ahead. I intended to carry his legacy, a blend of happiness and love. My heart felt light as I stepped into my home's embrace, ready for what lay ahead. Each sound, each image, brought another memory flooding back. I felt my father's spirit around me, like the soft sunlight warming the room. It was a reminder that I wasn't alone. His love was always within reach. The gentle tick of the clock reminded me not to rush. This morning was a sanctuary, a space to reflect and recharge. I closed my eyes for a moment, letting the calm wrap around me. In those serene seconds, I could almost hear my father's laughter again. I let myself linger in the warmth of those memories. It felt like being cradled in an embrace, bringing comfort and peace. With a deep breath, I opened my eyes again. The quiet morning continued to unfold before me, like a beautiful tapestry. Each thread held a memory, vibrant and alive, ready for me to explore. I knew I would carry this piece with me. The stories of my past were my guiding light, leading me into the future. I embraced the calm, ready to turn the page for the next part of my day. I glanced out the window once more, ready to step into my garden. The colors called to me, inviting my spirit to nourish them as I had learned to be nourished. It was time to find more moments of joy. With that thought in my heart, I felt ready. Another day awaited, another chance to celebrate my family's love. I opened the door, stepping into the warm glow of the morning sun. My journey into this quiet, cherished day had just begun. I was going about my day when my phone rang. The sound pulled me from my thoughts. It was my sister's name flashing on the screen, but her voice was frantic when I answered. "Lily, you need to come to the hospital. It's Dad." Her words hit like ice water. A torrent of fear surged through me. My pulse quickened as I pressed the phone closer to my ear. "What happened? Is he okay?" I gasped, bracing myself for an answer. "Please tell me." "Just hurry. The doctors are saying it's serious, she said through a shaky breath. Panic tightened around my chest. I dropped my bag and raced out the door. Thoughts swirled like autumn leaves in a gust of wind. My heart pounded as I hurried down the street. Each step felt like a heavy stone weighing me down. The air was thick with worry. Cars rushed past as I crossed the road, barely noticing the honking horns or the hurried voices around me. My mind was solely focused on my father. I couldn't let anything distract me. Reaching the hospital felt like a lifetime, though it was only a few minutes. I burst through the sliding doors, the sterile smell of antiseptic hitting me hard. The bright lights felt harsh against my anxious mind. I approached the reception desk. "My father, Robert. He's here. I was informed he's in serious condition." My voice was trembling, anxious energy spilling over. The receptionist looked up, her expression serious. "Please take a seat. I'll call someone who can help you." My legs felt weak, but I moved to the waiting area, heart racing. The waiting room buzzed with low murmurs and the sound of footsteps on the tiled floor. I sank into a chair, my gaze darting toward the doors leading to the treatment area. Each set of doors felt like a barrier between me and answers. Time passed slowly. I couldn't breathe normally. My hands fidgeted in my lap, the rubber of my bracelet digging into my skin. Worry creased my forehead as the minutes slipped away like grains of sand. After far too long, a nurse walked in, a clipboard in hand. She approached, her expression serious yet calm. I stood immediately, desperation flooding my voice. "Please, is my father okay? What happened?" The nurse took a breath. "Robert was in an accident. He's stable but critical. We're doing everything we can." I felt a wave of relief wash over me, though worry still clung tightly. "What does that mean? Can I see him?" I pressed, needing to understand. "There are many protocols we must follow. I will need you to sign these forms first," she replied, keeping her voice steady. I nodded, trying to grasp the reality of my father's situation. I signed the papers, hands shaking. Each stroke of the pen felt heavier than the last. The nurse took them from me, her demeanor professional but kind. "Follow me," she instructed. My heart raced again as she turned, guiding me down a bland corridor. The fluorescent lights flickered above, casting strange shadows on the walls. My stomach twisted with each step. What awaited me behind the next set of doors? I thought of my father, his laughter, his stories. We reached a room, the nurse pausing just outside. "He's being treated now, but you can go in for a few minutes." I nodded, nerves intensifying. She opened the door, and I slipped inside. The beeping of machines filled the air. My father lay on the hospital bed, a stark contrast to my memories. Tubes snaked from his body. His face was pale. I stepped closer, wicked panic clawing at my insides. "Dad!" I whispered, the word barely escaping my lips. My heart sank further as I took in his condition. "Lily," he murmured, eyes fluttering open for a moment, recognizing my presence. "You shouldn't have come. It's too much." "No, Dad, I needed to be here," I said, tears welling in my eyes. "What happened?" "Are you in pain?" "Just tired, Lily. It was a freak accident. I'm going to be okay." His voice was distant, strained. My heart wanted to believe him, but doubt gnawed at me. The seconds dragged on as I held his hand. His skin felt cold. I concentrated on his breathing, each rise and fall like a gentle wave. "Stay with me, please. I don't want to be alone," he finally admitted, glancing at me, vulnerability swimming in his gaze. My resolve solidified. "I'm right here, Dad. I'm not going anywhere," I promised. The machines continued their rhythmic sounds, punctuating the air with their persistent beeps. Moments stretched endlessly as I sat beside him. I could sense the chaos outside the hospital room. I wanted to shut it all out, to focus solely on us. A nurse entered, adjusting the IV drip. She glanced at me, a soft smile breaking the tension. "You're a good daughter. He needs you now." I appreciated her words, but the weight of worry remained heavy on my chest. I could sense the uncertainty in the air, the fragility of life. "Can I get him anything? Water?" I asked, desperate to help. "Just be here," she replied. "That's what he needs most right now." So I settled back into my chair, holding my father's hand tightly. I let my warmth infuse his cool fingers. He glanced at me with tired eyes. "You're strong, Lily. Remind me to tell you that story." His voice was fading, but I nodded, encouraging him gently. "I'm listening, Dad. Always." I wasn't sure if he could hear me clearly, but I was determined to stay. He took a deep breath, fighting against exhaustion. "There was a time when I thought—" His voice trailed off. "Thought what?" I urged quietly, craving his stories, his wisdom, his strength. When this life felt too hard, I learned to lean into the moments. His words came slow but steady, like the flow of a river through time. I knew there had to be more to his unspoken thoughts, but I wouldn't press. "I'm glad you shared that with me, Dad," I murmured. He squeezed my hand gently, his warmth bringing me comfort. "You can be brave too, Lily. Remember that." The steady beeping of machines filled the space between us, but our connection was palpable. I continued to hold his hand, grounding myself amidst the turmoil. After a while, silence settled over the room. I soaked in his presence, eyes slowly fluttered closed. As I watched him slip away into rest, uncertainty hovered around like shadows. Soon after, the same nurse reappeared, checking the machines. She met my gaze, her eyes full of understanding. "There will be ups and downs," she cautioned gently, "but he is stable and receiving care." I nodded, steeling myself against the shattering reality of the situation. "Can I stay a bit longer?" I asked, my voice barely above a whisper. "Of course. Just speak to him. He'll hear you," the nurse replied, smiling softly. "Thank you," I murmured, not quite ready to leave. The room remained still, filled with only the sounds of medical devices. I focused on my father's face, trying to absorb every detail. I leaned closer, whispering stories of our past adventures together. I shared memories he had created in my heart. Slowly, time felt less heavy. The buzzing of my worries began to soften amidst moments of tranquility. Despite everything, I felt a flicker of hope. The room faded, the chaos outside becoming a distant memory. All that mattered was my father, our bond bridging the unspoken fears. I closed my eyes for a moment, letting the rhythm of beeping machines lull my turbulent thoughts. In this sterile setting, I discovered moments of peace among the uncertainty. But deep down, curiosity lingered, waiting for more answers. What would tomorrow bring? Would the hope I clung to sustain me? With each word I shared, I felt closer to understanding. I could still feel his strength sparking within me, and I refused to lose that light. As fatigue began to settle in, I allowed myself to lean against the chair. I was here for him. I would endure whatever came next. There was strength in that promise. The waiting room is filled with a heavy silence. I sit among families holding their breaths, exchanging glances that carry worry. The clock on the wall ticks loudly, marking time that seems to stretch endlessly. Each tick feels like a reminder of the fear wrapping around my heart. I grip my phone tightly, wishing it would buzz with good news. The muted whispers of other families float around me, a mixture of hope and despair. A young girl nearby clutches a stuffed animal, her brows furrowed in concentration. I watch her mother gently stroke her hair, their connection palpable. They lean into one another, drawing strength from shared worry. My eyes drift back to my phone, longing for a call that might shatter this stillness. The uncertainty feels overwhelming. "Please, let it be okay," I whisper to myself. I take a deep breath, trying to steady my racing thoughts. I think about my father, the man who has always been my rock. I remember how strong he is, even when times are tough. He taught me to stand tall, to be brave. I close my eyes, picturing him in his favorite chair, laughing at some old joke. His laughter always filled our home with warmth, like a cozy blanket on a chilly night. The stark contrast of the waiting room sends a chill through me. I wish he could be here, making everything feel right. I picture his strong hands, the way he gives the best hugs. He always knows how to calm me, to push my fears aside, with just a few reassuring words. What if this time, I can't hear those words again? In this room, time seems to warp. I glance around at the families sharing quiet moments. Their eyes tell stories of hope and weariness. A couple sits with their heads bowed, shoulders hunched as they whisper to each other. I can sense their dread. I feel a knot tighten in my stomach, a feeling that connects us despite our different situations. Suddenly, a nurse walks in, her demeanor calm, yet professional. She looks at the families, her eyes filled with empathy. I hold my breath as she speaks. "We are still evaluating the situation," she says softly. Her words hang in the air, fragile like glass. I can hear the muted responses of families processing her message. Some nod, while others remain frozen in place. A man nearby exhales sharply, his hand gripping the armrest. I turn my gaze back to my phone, desperate for a sign, a text, anything. How long will we wait? I wonder. Is this what it means to be in limbo between hope and despair? I remember more moments with my father. His stories echo in my mind, each one filled with laughter and life lessons. He taught me to embrace kindness, to look for beauty even in chaos. "Find the silver lining," he always said. Those words feel distant now. Can I find a silver lining today? I catch a whiff of coffee from a nearby kiosk. It reminds me of mornings shared over pancakes. The sound of laughter mingling with sizzling bacon. I feel my stomach rumble, the hunger nothing compared to the ache of worry. I reach for my phone again, scrolling through pictures. My thumb hovers over a photo of my dad and me at the beach. We were both smiling, sun-kissed and carefree. Time moves painfully slow. The clock ticks again, and I can feel my heart rate matching its rhythm. Each beep reminds me that my father is still back there, under observation, while I wait here. I tell myself I need to keep hope alive, but fear whispers unrelentingly. What if something goes wrong? An older woman sitting across from me looks directly into my eyes. She gives me a small, understanding smile, as if she can feel my pain. It's a brief moment of connection. I nod back, grateful for her silent support. In a place filled with uncertainty, we share a sentiment of solidarity. Hope flickers in my chest, but fear intertwines with it like smoke. How can I tell the two apart? The seconds stretch, each painful moment an eternity. My pulse quickens, creating a rhythm I can't escape. I shift in my seat, biting my lip. Amidst the silence, I allow myself to remember more moments with my father. I recall our fishing trips, the way his laughter melded with the sound of the water rippling. We spent countless hours together, just him and me, learning patience. He often said, "Life is about waiting for the right moment." But now I struggle to embrace that lesson. It feels too heavy to bear. There's a flurry of nurses entering and exiting the room, their faces solemn. Each time, I search their expressions, hoping for a glimpse of good news. As one of them passes by, I can't help but catch her gaze. "Is he okay?" My voice trembles slightly. It feels bold yet useless in the sea of uncertainty. She pauses for a moment, her eyes softening. "We're doing everything we can." Those words resonate, but also feel vague. It doesn't answer the panic rising within me, yet I cling to them like a life raft. Perhaps that's all I can do right now. Hold on. I glance around, trying to distract myself from the intensity of my thoughts. A small boy sits with his grandmother. She reads him a story, her voice soothing. He stares up at her, captivated. I wish I could be so lost in a moment, so distracted from reality. The intimacy between them feels comforting, a reminder of the bonds we create. I return to my memories. It's odd how a single thought can fill your heart with warmth, then draw you back into darkness. I think again of my father, his favorite jokes lingering in the air like forgotten laughter. Would I laugh again with him? Another nurse enters. This time, I don't wait for her to speak. How much longer? I ask urgently. My heart races as she approaches. She pauses but gives a reassuring nod. The doctors are still with him. They're doing everything possible. Her words echo in my mind, doing everything possible. What does that truly mean? I take a deep breath, steeling myself for the next wave of fear. The waiting room feels heavier with each passing moment. My phone buzzes, jarring me from my reverie. It's a message from my sister. We're on the way, Lily. My heart warms at her words. The thought of her presence eases some of the weight. We're not alone, I remind myself. The waiting room feels less isolating now, knowing I'll soon have company. In the distance, I hear a child's laughter. It breaks through my thoughts, the sound ringing with innocence and joy. I envy that laughter, but also feel its beauty. In a way, it's a reminder that life continues despite the heaviness that fills this room. A few minutes pass in silence, marked only by the ticking clock. I shift in my seat again, my fingers tapping against my phone. I am torn between wanting to distract myself and yearning to hold on to hope. The fear grips me, but I refuse to let it consume me. I think of my father's strength. His strength is woven into who I am. When I was younger, he would lift me to the sky, making me feel powerful and invincible. You can conquer anything, he would say with a grin. I often believed him. But now, in this moment, doubt lingers like a shadow beside me. A movement catches my eye. A doctor emerges from the hallway, his expression unreadable. I hold my breath, heart racing. Will this be the moment of truth? The entire room seems to hold its breath. He walks towards the waiting families, and silence blankets everyone again. Family of Mr. Thompson? His voice breaks through the tension. My heart skips. I stand abruptly, feeling a mix of fear and anticipation. Others look around, eyes wide. That's me, I call out, pushing through the crowd. I'm Lily. He nods, gesturing for me to come closer. I feel the weight of his gaze. The waiting room fades as I try to focus on his words. I have never wanted to hear anything so desperately. He is stable now, the doctor says. I exhale slowly as relief floods through me, but we'll need to monitor him closely. Monitor him closely. I grasp at the words, feeling a mix of hope and fear. My heart clenches. Can I see him? The doctor nods. In a few minutes, he's awake. I can't suppress a smile. My father is alive. The shadows of dread lift slightly as I process this information. Others in the room begin to buzz with quiet conversation, the air around us breathing just a little easier, moments of hope returning amidst the veil of uncertainty. I send a quick text to my sister, telling her the news. Relief floods over me, but I know this is just the beginning. I still have my father to worry about, but now I have hope to guide me. The doctor's expression softens slightly as he waits for my response. I take a deep breath, ready to embrace the next chapter of this journey. The doctor finally walked into the waiting room. My heart raced with anticipation. She wore a white coat, her face a mask of professionalism. I stood up, eager for news. Miss Lily, she said, her voice steady. I'm here to talk about your father. I nodded, preparing myself for what she might say. Your father is in critical condition, she began. My breath hitched. He suffered severe injuries and is currently in a coma. The words hung between us, heavy and cold. What does that mean? I asked, struggling to make sense of it all. The doctor continued. detailing the severity of his injuries. He requires emergency surgery. This is his best chance. I tried to focus. The medical jargon rushed over me like waves. Terms like intracranial pressure and hemorrhage made my head spin. I felt lost, unsure of what each word meant. "Miss Lily, the risks are significant," the doctor said, watching me closely. I could see concern in her eyes. "There may be complications during surgery. We cannot predict outcomes with certainty." My heart sank further. "But he has to have it, right?" I choked out, grasping at hope. The doctor paused, and I heard the quiet ticking of the clock. Each tick echoed my racing thoughts. "While surgery is necessary, we cannot guarantee success," she replied. My stomach dropped. I felt a weight settle upon me, heavy with responsibility. "What if I say no?" I whispered, suddenly afraid of the choice before me. The doctor looked at me, a blend of compassion and professionalism in her gaze. "That would mean we do not intervene. The situation could worsen," she explained. I gripped my phone, feeling its cold surface. My father's face flashed in my mind, strong but now vulnerable. Tears pricked at the corners of my eyes. But what if? What if he doesn't wake up? I trembled at the thought, the possibility tightening around my chest. "That is a possibility," the doctor admitted gently. "But surgery could offer him a chance to survive. The decision rests with you." I swallowed hard, my mind racing through the implications. I envisioned my father laughing, sharing stories that filled our home with warmth. The thought of losing that felt unbearable. Yet choosing for him, the burden weighed heavily on my shoulders. "Please, give me a moment," I pleaded, needing time to think. The doctor's expression softened. "Of course, take your time." Once she stepped away, I was enveloped in silence. I closed my eyes and searched for clarity. I imagined my father's smile, felt the love we shared. He deserved a fighting chance. But the risks, the uncertainty, gnawed at me. I struggled against the wave of emotions. Confusion crept back in as I replayed her words. What if I made the wrong choice? My mind spiraled. I held my breath, closing my eyes. I took a deep breath, anchoring myself. I could hear my sister's footsteps approaching. She joined me, her presence a comfort. "What did the doctor say?" she asked, worry etched across her face. "Is he going to be okay?" I swallowed, wanting to shield her from the harsh truth. "He's in a coma. They want to operate." My voice trailed off, the weight of my decision hovering in the air. My sister's eyes widened. What does that mean?" Alarm crept into her voice. I felt her fear seep into my own. "It means he might not wake up," I confessed, tears spilling over. "But if we don't do it, he could get worse." I searched her face for understanding. I glanced back towards the hallway where the doctor had just disappeared. "I don't know what to do," I admitted softly. My sister reached for my arm. "It's okay to feel scared. This is so much." I nodded, the tears falling freely now. We stood there, two sisters grappling with daunting choices. I could feel her pain mirroring mine. "Do you think he would want this surgery?" she asked quietly, and I reflected on my father. He was always the brave one, never backing down from challenges. "Yes," I finally said, my voice steadier now. "He would want to fight." It felt right to voice that, even amid the storm. But the uncertainty remained, clouding my heart. I knew I had to make the decision soon. Taking a breath, I looked at my sister again. "Can you stay with me? I need you." She nodded, linking her arm in mine. The warmth brought me comfort, grounding me. We waited together, enveloped in shared worries. Moments stretched as we waited for the doctor to return. I fidgeted, glancing at the clock. Time ticked away, each second marking my growing anxiety. Finally, the doctor appeared. My heartbeat quickened at the sight of her. "Are you ready to discuss surgery?" I felt my sister squeeze my hand. "Yes, we need to talk," I said, finding my voice. The heaviness in my chest felt a little lighter. The doctor nodded, looking relieved. Let's go over everything again. It's important you make an informed choice. She began explaining the procedure in simpler terms. I focused intently, feeling the gravity of the moment. We will monitor him closely. The surgery aims to relieve pressure and address the injuries. She started again. I tried to absorb every detail. What about after? I asked, needing to understand the long term. Recovery can be a long process, she revealed. It may take time for him to wake up. We might face more challenges along the way, but he's not out of options. Hope flickered faintly within me. What if? What if he doesn't wake up? That is a real possibility, she admitted, but doing nothing may lead to worse outcomes. Swallowing hard, I weighed her words. I felt the anguish swirl in my mind. Making a decision felt overwhelming. My sister interjected, speaking up. What would you do if he was your father? She asked the doctor. The doctor paused, looking thoughtful. If it were my father, I would choose surgery. I would want to give him a chance. It struck a chord deep within me. I had to consider my father's spirit, his fighting nature. I agree, I said, my voice firmer. We need to go ahead with the surgery. The decision left me shaky but relieved. At least I had made a choice for him. Let's do this, I repeated, wanting the certainty. The doctor nodded, a small smile touching her lips. I'll prepare the team, but know we're here for you. You are not alone in this process. A flicker of gratitude washed over me. Thank you, I whispered, feeling the warmth of her compassion. I felt my sister wrap her arms around me tightly. You did good, Lily, she murmured. I took a deep breath, holding on to that moment of support. We stood together, united in this difficult journey. Outside, the world continued, but inside, time seemed to wane. I kept hearing my father's hearty laughter echo through my mind. This was not over yet. Now it was time to face the next step with strength and hope. The waiting was almost unbearable, but I had to trust in the process. One step forward, I felt empowered, even amid uncertainty. I glanced back down the corridor. The moment seemed to stretch forever. Each tick of the clock reminded me of what lay ahead. Together, my sister and I waited. Whatever awaited us next, we would navigate it together. I closed my eyes, remembering conversations with my father. His laughter echoes in my mind, warmth radiating from those memories. He often spoke about the value of life. Every choice matters, Lily, he would say. Live fully, love deeply. Now those words sting like salt on an open wound. Sitting in the sterile room, the muffled sounds of the hospital fade into the distance. I focus on my father's face, frail and pale. The discomfort in my chest grows heavier. The doctor's earlier words replay in my mind, a haunting reminder of what lies ahead. The door opens and the doctor steps in, clipboard in hand. My heart races. She looks serious, her brow furrowed. Miss Lily, she begins, carefully choosing her words. We can proceed with surgery, but the costs are significant. A wave of fear washes over me. How much? I ask, my voice trembling. The doctor shifts uncomfortably, the answer hanging in the air like a storm cloud. Around $50,000. I swallow hard. 50,000? It sounds like an insurmountable mountain. My mind races with questions, frantic calculations running through my head. Can I raise that much? Do I have that time? The doctor continues. There are risks, even if we proceed. It's a tough battle. Her voice is steady, but I can sense the weight of her words. But we can't guarantee it will save him. Tears prick at my eyes. And if I do nothing? The answer hangs between us, unspoken but palpable. A choice. A heartbreaking choice. I think of my father, his warm smile, and the careless laughter we shared. Would he want this? Would he want me to fight for him, knowing what it might cost? Or would he want me to save myself? The doctor's gaze softens. That's a decision only you can make. Her words resonate, cutting through my swirling thoughts. I want to scream, to cry, but I hold it in. I need to be strong. I nod, taking a deep breath. Decisions should come from love, not fear. In moments of quiet, I hear my father's voice again. Lily, the heart knows what's true, he would say. Those words wrap around me, a comforting embrace. I think back to our time together, hiking, exploring the world around us. I remember his enthusiasm and passion for life. He always told me how precious these moments are, how life is a sequence of choices. But Dad, what would you choose? The question echoes in my mind, haunting me. I want to honor his wishes, but am faced with an unbearable burden. Images flash in my mind, his face lighting up at my graduation, the warmth of his hand on my shoulder. Then I see him now, frail and helpless. It feels like a betrayal to consider anything but fighting for him. What if this fight goes on too long? What if he suffers? My heart races as I confront the emotional maze. Could I really bear to let him go? To say goodbye? The thought stabs like a blade, but is prolonging his life the right path? I remember my father's smile when he recounted his past. He was always eager to share stories, reminding me that life's journey is as important as the destination. What if this choice leads him into suffering? A deep breath steadies my thoughts, though my heart races. The doctor waits patiently, sensing the turmoil within me. "Take your time," she says softly. I appreciate her kindness amidst the chaos. I sit back, weighing the possibilities. I could fight for him, but what if it leads to more pain? I can almost hear my father's voice again, gentle and calm. Sometimes, letting go is the greatest act of love. But neither choice feels right. I stand and start pacing, my feet restless against the cold linoleum. The reality of our situation crushes me. I feel isolated in this whirlwind of decisions. An emptiness fills my chest. The thought of living without my father is unbearable. Yet, the thought of forcing him into a fight that he may not want also devastates me. I'm caught in a storm of my own making. I glance at the doctor, her expression unwavering. What if there's a chance he could have a peaceful end? The question escapes before I can stop it. It hangs in the air, heavy and fraught with implications. The doctor's response is gentle. That's a possibility to consider. Sometimes peace is a gift. I nod slowly, swallowing the lump in my throat. Peace. The very word sounds foreign and beautiful. What would it mean to give him that? I think of his laughter once again, his warmth enveloping me. Would he want to fight against the odds, or would he prefer the release of letting go? Every fiber of my being aches for clarity. I need moments to reflect on what truly matters. I sit back down. Can you give me time? My voice wavers. She nods, understanding my need for space. Of course. Minutes stretch into what feels like an eternity. My heart pounds in my ears, the tension weighing heavily. I close my eyes and breathe deeply, focusing on the rhythm of my breath. In and out, in and out. Images flash by. My father teaching me how to ride a bike, skinning my knees and laughing through the tears. The freedom of youth and the warmth of hope enveloping us both that day. There was a time when life seemed uncomplicated, when choices felt lighter. Now, standing at this crossroads, I wonder if I can still find my way. I can almost hear his voice, steady and proud. You have the strength within you, Lily. His words carry me, offering a lifeline amidst the storm. I think about those moments full of laughter, joy, and deep love. Those memories compel me to cherish, not to lose sight of his spirit, even in this darkness. Time passes, silent but heavy. I rise and step toward the window, looking out at the world beyond. Cars pass by, people live their lives, unaware of my torment inside. They seem so far removed from the choices I face. A gentle warmth washes over me as the sun's rays peek through the clouds. For a moment, I feel comforted. Nature continues. Indifferent to the turmoil, I clutch close. But reality creeps back in. I turn back to the room, gathering strength from within. My father deserves the best, regardless of the price. He sacrificed so much for me. I have to weigh my options with that love in mind. With a renewed sense of purpose, I return to the doctor. I need to ask questions, to understand what is truly at stake. If I choose to fight, I begin, my voice steady but soft. Then we will do everything we can, she replies, her eyes meeting mine. But you must know the limits. I do. I nod, taking a deep breath. But if I let him go? Her understanding gaze meets mine. Then we ensure it's as peaceful as can be. I ponder her words, the magnitude of the choices resting heavily on my shoulders. 2 paths, each leading into uncertainty. I close my eyes again, centering my thoughts. I'll need a little more time, I finally say, more confident now. I need clarity. I owe that to him. I appreciate the doctor's patience. Her nod is all the confirmation I need. As I step away to think, my memories dance around me. I recall him teaching me to ride a bike, the wind rushing past. I see his smile, the sense of adventure in his eyes. Life is beautiful, Lily. Embrace it fully. His words whisper through my mind, guiding me gently. What would he truly want? The answer begins to form, easing the burden of what I must decide. Through the pain, I know there's still love, a guiding light amidst the storm. I am torn, but I know one thing for sure. Whatever choice I make, I will honor his heart. I sit alone in the room. The sound of beeping machines surrounds me. I close my eyes, and pictures of my father flood my mind. Laughter and love wrap around me like a warm blanket. His booming voice echoes, bright and full of life. I remember our fishing trips, the way he'd tell stories. Every moment was precious, stitched together with joy. I recall winter mornings, bundled in coats, drinking hot chocolate. My father's eyes sparkled with laughter, and we'd build snowmen that towered above us. He would joke about how we'd create the next great snowman masterpiece. Each tick of the clock brings me back to those voices and smiles. Memories swirl like autumn leaves in the wind. Yet here I am, tangled in a web of fear. The doctor's words echo in my ears, heavier than lead. Critical condition, she had said, the term piercing my heart. I feel the weight of my choices pressing down. It feels wrong. My father taught me well. His lessons were never about selfishness. They were about living a life that mattered. I breathe deeply, steadying myself. I think about my father, his wishes. I remember him speaking softly about life's journey. Lily, he said, always choose comfort over pain. His voice fills me with clarity. Would he want this for himself? The pain appears almost unbearable. Every moment feels stretched, agonizing. I stand up slowly and step toward the window. A grey sky hangs outside, yet I find peace in it. I let the memories guide me. Compassion, I whisper, the word rolling off my tongue. It lingers in the air, and a new thought emerges. I can honor him, but I must let him go. Letting go, I murmur again. Fear begins to loosen its grip. The choice becomes clearer with every heartbeat. I think of those countless moments, laughter shared over a dinner table, music blaring, and my father dancing like no one was watching. My heart swells with love, and with it, a new resolve forms. I remember his jokes, his laughter reverberating through the walls of our home. He always made everything feel lighter. Life's a dance, Lily, he would say. Find your rhythm. I feel that rhythm return. It dances within me, propelling me toward a decision steeped in compassion. This room feels heavy, but I let that weight settle in my chest for just a moment. I know what to do. With tears cascading down my cheeks, I exhale slowly. I feel like I've released a breath held far too long. It's a decision rooted in love, not in fear. My heart feels lighter, fluttering like a bird learning to fly. I think about the conversations we had about the end of life. He often spoke of nature, the simplicity of letting go. If trees can drop their leaves, he said, what's stopping us from shedding what no longer serves us? I remember his pride in teaching me resilience. Now it's my turn to carry that lesson forward. I tiptoe to the door and pause. I take one last long look at my father. His face, so peaceful now, deserves dignity. I don't want him to suffer longer. I find my breath, inhale deeply, and step into the hallway. The sterile air brings clarity, but it's the memories that bring me strength. I find a nurse nearby, her expression warm and soft. "Is there someone you need?" she asks gently. Her tone gives me solace. I nod, wiping my tears. "I need to talk to the doctor. It's about my father." My voice quivers, but I feel the grounding force of resolution. Moments later, the doctor appears, her white coat stark against the dimly lit corridor. "What can I do for you?" she asks, her voice steady and calming. I swallow hard, gathering my thoughts. "I want to honor my father's wishes," I finally say, my voice mere hush. The doctor's eyes flicker with understanding. "What are you suggesting?" she asks. In response, I feel a wave of warmth inside me. "I want to focus on comfort care," I say, my heart racing. "No more invasive measures." The doctor nods slowly, her expression gentle. "That's a compassionate choice," she affirms. I can feel the weight of her words settling in. Compassion over fear. I am carving out space to honor my father's spirit. "I know he wouldn't want to suffer," I continue, the words tumbling out in a rush. "He taught me to live fully." The doctor remains silent, listening. Her presence feels validating, as if she respects my journey. I share memories with her, fishing trips, snow days, and laughter. Each story holds weight, grounding me further in my choice. As I speak, I see the doctor softening. "It sounds like he was an incredible man," she says softly. "He clearly radiated love." I nod, feeling tears gather again. "He did," I whisper, longing for one last moment with him, for laughter one more time. "He taught me how to live." "Letting him go is truly honoring him," the doctor adds. Her voice is soothing, like a balm. I breathe in the truth of her words, allowing them to wash over me. "When would you like to begin?" she continues. I think for a moment before replying, "Now." The decision feels right. Fear slips away, leaving space for understanding. I want him to feel peace. The doctor nods again, and I feel a bond strengthen between us. As we walk back into the room, anxiety creeps in. I glance at my father's still form, my heart lurching. But then I remember the lessons, the love. His laughter mingles with my tears, pulling me into focus. He deserves peace. The doctor gently checks the equipment surrounding my father. "We'll make the transition now," she assures me. "He won't feel pain." I breathe deeply, allowing her words to sink in. I find a chair beside his bed and sit down. I grasp his hand, warm and familiar. It brings a flood of memories. I want to cry, but I can't. Instead, I talk to him softly. "Dad, I'm here," I whisper. "It's okay to let go." His breathing seems to steady, almost as if he hears me. I recall his smile, his eyes full of life. "You taught me so much," I continue. "You filled my life with joy." Silence envelops us, a comforting shroud. As the doctor makes adjustments to ensure my father's comfort, I continue to hold his hand. I squeeze it gently. "I love you, Dad," I murmur through the tears. "You can rest now. I'll be okay." In the room, silence settles like a blanket. The hum of machines softens. Every heartbeat echoes with something profound. Letting go is not an end. It's embracing love, and I feel it wrapping around us both. I take a shaky breath, feeling lighter. "You showed me how to love, how to live," I whisper. It feels like a promise, a whisper to the universe. I take in everything around me. Even in the sadness, I can find peace. The doctor leaves us for a moment, allowing a stillness to linger. I lean close to my father. "You're the best thing that ever happened to me," I say softly, forever in my heart. I sense the love lingering in the air. My resolve grows stronger. This chapter of pain leads to a new understanding, one filled with compassion, even in tears. Letting go is difficult but necessary. It's an act of love and acceptance. The doctor returns with a nurse, carrying supplies to make his transition peaceful. "We will keep him comfortable," she reassures me. Her tone remains soft and steady as she moves, bringing a calm to the storm inside me. With each action they take, I breathe a little easier. Moments pass, each one filled with love. No longer are we fighting against nature, we are honoring it. I look down at my father's face, envisioning every happiness, every lesson learned. I hear soft murmurs from the nurse and doctor, but my focus remains on my father. "I'll be fine," I whisper again, holding on to his hand tightly. Letting you go feels like the right choice. Tears slip down my cheeks, landing on the bed. The machines beep steadily, a rhythmic reminder of life. I glance around the room. I want to remember this moment. It's emotional, but it's more than just sadness. It's a journey of love unfolding, a story reaching its climax. Outside, the world continues. I imagine laughter spilling over, bright and warm. Just like those fishing trips, just like winter mornings, building memories together. It all wraps around me, filling the space with light. My heart fills with purpose. I want to honor all that he was. He wouldn't want me to linger in fear. He'd want joy, laughter echoing across the years. With every moment passing, I feel closer to that understanding. "Thank you, Dad," I whisper softly, watching as the doctor offers him comfort. "Thank you for showing me how to love." I hold on to that feeling, the warmth easing my heart. Letting go doesn't mean forgetting. It means allowing his spirit to flow freely, just like the currents of the river where we'd fish together. I picture that river now, sparkling and bright. The nurses and doctor work quietly, their movements gentle and thoughtful. I breathe deeply, finding solace in this quiet storm. I cast my mind back to laughter shared, lessons learned. It grounds me, a solid foundation amidst life's chaos. In the stillness of that hospital room, the laughter continues in my heart. It dances like fireflies in the twilight. And I realize, compassion over fear, this path is one filled with love. I decide to embrace this choice wholeheartedly. The doctor turns to me, asking softly if I'm ready. My heart swells as I nod. I feel brave, anchored by love. "I'm ready," I say, voice steady. The doctor and nurse move with grace, preparing everything for my father's comfort. I close my eyes, allowing memories to surface, filling me with hope. "You showed me what it means to truly live," I whisper, my heart open and free. Knowing that letting go is part of life, I surrender, holding my father's hand tightly. I settled into the chair beside my father's bedside. The rhythmic beeping of the machines surrounded us, offering a steady backdrop to my thoughts. I reached out to hold his hand, feeling the coolness of his skin. "Hey, Dad," I whispered softly. "It's me, Lily." The serene atmosphere enveloped us as silence stretched between my words. I could almost hear his laughter echoing in my mind. "Remember our fishing trips?" I said, my voice steady despite the weight in my chest. "The way you always claimed you caught the biggest fish." I wove the details of our days together into my narrative. I described the shimmering water, the sunrise painting the sky. "You'd wake me before dawn, insisting we needed to catch the best fish," I chuckled, trying to evoke a smile, hoping he sensed my love. The stillness in the room felt heavy, yet familiar. It was our world, woven together by memories. As I reminisced, I couldn't help but clutch his hand tighter. The warmth of those memories surged within me. "You taught me so much, Dad, like how to ride a bike without training wheels." I could almost hear his encouraging voice, urging me not to fear falling. Each story was a delicate thread, connecting us across time and space. I shared the moments that had shaped me. Do you remember the Christmas you surprised us with that huge tree? It felt taller than the house. I smiled through my tears, hoping my words warmed his heart. I painted the picture of our living room filled with decorations, laughter, and joy. I leaned closer, my voice softer. You always said, "A family that plays together stays together." Those words still ring true in my heart. It felt like a gentle caress. Echoes of our shared experiences lingered in the air, palpable even in their absence. Every word offered me comfort, and I felt my grief shift into something meaningful. My heart was heavy, yet filled with gratitude for those moments. I wanted him to know how much he meant to me. Dad, you've been my rock. You've shown me how to face the world with courage. I paused, letting the silence settle. The machines continued their soft beeping, a reminder of the fragility of life. I sighed softly, closing my eyes for a moment. I recalled his stories about resilience. You always found a way through tough times, I whispered. I still carry your strength within me. I opened my eyes and looked at him, longing for a glimmer of recognition. I tried to reach him through memories. You taught me never to shy away from the challenges. Remember when I was scared of speaking in front of the class? You said I should share my stories. A lump formed in my throat, but I pushed through. Look at me now, still sharing, still telling. As I continued recounting our adventures, warmth spread through my heart, soothing the ache. Each story I told was a hug wrapped around the memories. I focused on the laughter we shared, the love binding us together. You always had that great advice about believing in myself. I smiled faintly, wishing I could see him smile back. I felt his fingers twitch slightly in my grasp. Hope surged through me. Dad, can you hear me? I leaned closer, yearning for a sign. You always taught me to hope. I shared words that lifted my spirit. You told me dreams are worth chasing. I could feel connections weaving deeper than before, a bittersweet tapestry of love and loss. I envisioned our road trips, windows down, the wind in our hair. Do you remember the time we got lost on the way to the lake? I chuckled softly. You just laughed and said we'd find our way. We did. With each story, I began to feel lighter, as if the sorrow spread across the room and away from my heart. You're my hero, you know. You fought so many battles, I said, treasuring the bittersweet nature of my words. Each pause felt monumental. I wanted him to feel my devotion, to know he had shaped who I was. The shadows in the room shifted as reality wrapped around us. I brushed his hair gently, wishing I could wake him. Do you remember? I hesitated, pulling the memories closer. When you taught me to ride a bike? You held onto the seat as I pedaled, saying I could do it. I did, after all. Every fond memory felt like a wave washing over inflammation. I hoped those memories could bridge the gap between us, allowing him to know he hadn't left me. You always said the love we share is the greatest adventure, I expressed, though tears began to trickle down my cheeks. I took a deep breath and wiped my eyes. I promised to carry your love forward, Dad. It's a part of me, I promised, wishing my words could break the barrier that divided us. The machines beeped steadily, and with each sound, memories surged within me. More stories spilled forth, each one a token of our bond. You taught me to appreciate sunsets, the beauty in everyday life. I let myself envision the golden glow we often admired together. We'd sit outside, watching the sky change colors, and you'd say, "Life is like that, always changing." My heart swelled with gratitude. Each reminiscence was an embrace, enveloping me in warmth. I realized that every shared laugh, every adventure, etched his spirit deeper into my soul. I still find beauty in the little things, I whispered, hoping he could hear me. I took a moment, closing my eyes again. I envisioned how he would smile down on me, watching over. I opened my eyes and leaned closer, desperate for a connection. I miss you every day. Your voice, your laugh, the stories. I cherish them all. I placed my head gently against his hand, feeling the coolness of his skin. You always knew how to comfort me. You'd listen to my problems, and you'd give the best advice. I recalled those conversations, moments where love was unconditional and true. One by one, I spilled my heart. Remember the time I was heartbroken? I cringed at the memory, but held on to the lessons learned. You told me to never settle for less than I deserve. Each story was a thread, weaving my love deeper into the fabric of our connection. My voice shook slightly as I spoke, but I pushed through. It was crucial for me to voice all those unspoken thoughts and feelings. Thank you for teaching me resilience. I inhaled deeply, trying to craft my next words. Your strength pushed me to never give up. In moments of quietness, I clung to his hand tighter. A flicker of warmth ignited my hope. I continued sharing fragments of my heart. Do you remember our trips to the mountains? You pointed out constellations, reminding me to dream big. I chuckled softly, reading the stories on my lips. The silence in the room deepened, and I wasn't frightened. Sharing my stories felt so deeply intimate. It was as if our souls were conversing across a vast distance. You always reminded me that love is forever. Even when we're apart, love still intertwines us, I mused. I held on to that thought, letting it drive the connection between us. You're still here with me. In every choice I make, every laugh I share, I carry you in my heart. I wished desperately to feel his embrace again, drawing comfort from his spirit. In those moments, I glimpsed the depth of my emotions. There was sorrow, yes, but gratitude enveloped me like a comforting blanket. I promise to honor your memory, Dad. I'll continue to tell our stories, I told him resolutely. The memories danced through the room, alive with laughter and love. I spoke them into existence, needing to surround my heart with warmth. It's all in the little things, I repeated softly. Every adventure we had is a treasure I will safeguard. As I shared one last cherished memory, I felt a wave of peace wash over me. Remember when you baked cookies with me? The mess we made? I let out a soft giggle at the thought. The sweet scent of vanilla and chocolate still lingered in my mind. I paused, allowing the moment to settle. I could almost see his smile, feeling an unexplainable connection. I want you to know I'm okay, Dad. I'm learning to cherish life, just like you taught me. The world outside faded into the background as I continued to weave the tapestry of our relationship. I cannot escape the boundary of grief, yet I understood it had woven itself into my journey. I felt honored to carry our memories into every day. As the night deepened, I whispered gentle goodbyes, reassuring him of my enduring love. I'll see you again someday. Until then, I'll hold you close in my heart. With each story shared, I felt his spirit surrounding me, a warm embrace mingled with the bittersweet promise of memories everlasting. I stood by my father's bedside, filled with an overwhelming sense of love. He lay still, his breathing slow and measured. I took a deep breath, knowing this moment had arrived. Goodbye, Dad, I whispered, my voice barely above a breath. I leaned down to place a gentle kiss on his forehead, sealing our bond with a warmth that stretched beyond time. Tears slipped down my cheeks as I whispered all the things left unsaid. Thank you for being my guiding light. I took his hand in mine one last time. His fingers felt delicate against my palm. The machines beeped softly, echoing my heart's rhythm. Each sound mingled with the countless memories we had shared. I felt a heaviness settle in my chest, but a sense of peace started to break through. It's okay to let go, I reassured him, and with that affirmation I embraced the memories we had created together. As I reminisced about our fishing trips and family holidays, Laughter filled my mind like music. Those bright moments swirled around me, pushing away the shadows of sorrow. I held on to the joy we had shared, allowing it to wash over me. With each memory, I felt lighter. I could almost hear him laughing, teasing me about my fishing skills. "Keep your eye on the bobber, Lily," he would say. Now his words were a balm to my aching heart. I reflected on how he lived, truly embracing life every single day. With each breath I took, I knew his spirit would remain alive within me. The sun peeked through the window, casting soft light across the room. I marveled at its warmth, comforting amidst the finality of this moment. I took one last look at my father, feeling an undeniable connection that transcended all. My heart whispered, "Love never dies." I squeezed his hand gently, committing every memory to memory. As I turned to leave the room, I felt a wave of peace wash over me. I realized the love we shared was powerful, far stronger than loss. With every step away from his bedside, I felt him with me, guiding me into the world outside. His spirit lingered, and I recognized that my journey didn't end here. It merely transformed. Stepping outside into the crisp morning air, I closed my eyes. I inhaled deeply, letting the fresh scent of dew-covered grass fill my lungs. The world felt new, vibrant, and alive. I opened my eyes to find the landscape painted in hues of orange and gold. It was breathtaking, a beautiful symphony that played as life continued. Though numbness lingered in my heart, hope sparked. I knew my father would want me to live fully. "Embrace the day, Lily," I remembered him say. I stepped into the new day with purpose, fully aware of how he had shaped my life. I could hear him cheering for me in my mind, urging me to take every leap. Walking along the path, I envisioned him right beside me. "You can do this," his voice echoed softly. Every step resonated with love. Fear faded, and with it came the heartbeat of my father's energy flowing through me. I could feel him encouraging me to love deeply and embrace every moment. As I approached the park, children laughed nearby. Their joy danced through the air, much like the laughter I shared with my father. Those sounds wrapped around me, stitching together my heart's seams, reminding me we are never alone in spirit. I closed my eyes again, allowing the sounds to bubble up like comfort. "Thank you for everything," I breathed, feeling gratitude swell within me. The sun broke free from the last of the clouds, illuminating my path. I took a moment, reflecting on how love transcended even the deepest losses, connecting us in ways we sometimes can't comprehend. I chilled with certainty that every moment lived would echo through eternity. As the warmth enveloped me, my heart felt lighter. When my father spoke of love, he concentrated on how it gave life its true meaning. I promised myself I would carry that lesson forward. I would honor his memory in my own choices. I longed to paint my life with the colors of our shared laughter and love, forging a legacy of connection. With each step, I felt freer. Love infused me with energy, setting me on a path toward healing. I delighted in the memories of our time together. In my mind, I danced with him, casting aside doubt and fear. "Live fully, love deeply," I repeated as a mantra. Though my heart still ached, I knew I also had a world to explore. Life bloomed around me, and I embraced every blossom. Each flower, each tree, was a gentle reminder that new beginnings awaited. I could feel the vibrant pulse of the world beckoning me forward, eager for my presence. I wandered deeper into the park, where the rich sounds of nature surrounded me. Birds chirped cheerily, welcoming the new dawn. The air sparkled with promise. I envisioned my father walking beside me, encouraging my exploration. I smiled, holding close all that he had taught me. In that moment, I transformed grief into a spark of possibility. Everywhere I looked, I saw the beauty he had loved so much. It stirred my heart as I walked through the vibrant greens and rich blues. I could almost hear him teach me about the world, sharing stories anew. Feeling light, I closed my eyes one last time and imagined his laughter mixing with the warmth of the sun. The burden of loss began to give way to the thrill of living. I stood still, taking it all in, feeling the radiance enhollowing me. My heart filled with the understanding that love is eternal. A gentle breeze embraced me, urging me forward. I opened my eyes, exhaling a deep sigh. My mind was clear, my heart was full, and I felt his spirit walking alongside me. I felt grateful that love had intertwined our lives in ways I could never forget. With this love, I could move forward. "Goodbye, Dad," I said softly, knowing he would always be a part of my journey. Every laugh we shared, every kind word, became a flicker of light that would guide me. I stepped away from the past, but kept the love in my heart, carrying it forward into each new day. As I continued on my path, the warmth of the sun enveloped me, and I welcomed the freedom to dwell not on loss, but on all that had been shared. I promised to embrace each moment, sharing love in every moment to come. Together, we would write new stories, and I would carry Dad's spirit, bright and vibrant, into the dawn of each day. With a heart full of peace, I walked forward, ready to cherish my life as he once did. Each step was imbued with his essence, reminding me of the love we had woven together. And with every footfall, I felt reassurance I would never be alone. In that stillness, as the world awakened around me, I found solace. Life had begun anew. I breathed deeply, grateful for the journey ahead, reminding myself to open up to every experience. Understanding blossomed within me, coiling around grief with light. Thank you for joining me tonight on this journey through love and loss. As we reflect on this story, may we remember that every dawn brings a new beginning. Embrace love, hold on to those memories, and let them guide you through the night. Let go, breathe, and carry forth the warmth of the heart. Together, we drift into restful slumber, knowing our hearts are bound by something greater. If you enjoyed this story, please subscribe to the channel for more calming stories like this one. Wishing you sweet dreams and a restful night. Good night. Sleep well.